if they had a partner before, if they didn't have a partner, we were afraid to wait.
All right, good morning. I'm always curious to see how many people show up. Just, you know, in the back of my mind, like, is it gonna be like 3 people who come to class? But I'm glad you're all here. We have kind of a different, hopefully interesting, fun day today. What I want to have you do is get back into your groups that you were in last time. Hopefully somebody has your piece of paper with like your thoughts and questions and things. What I want you to do as a group is to really kind of focus for the next like 5-10 minutes on making sure that all of your questions that you're going to ask people are written out in a clear way. It makes sense to you. Make sure it's written out somewhere because I am going to be sending you out to ask people these questions in a little bit here. So make sure everything is written out, written down. I want you to also decide as a group how you're going to ask these questions. Is it one of you who's going to ask? Is it 2 of you? Is it all of you? Is somebody going to keep track of the data and somebody going to ask? How are you going to kind of divide up your tasks in a way that makes sense to your group? Please be kind of mindful of each other. If somebody in the group isn't comfortable, you know, asking these things, that's totally fine. You can have them take a different role and that's completely acceptable. And then I also want you to make sure you have a way to collect your data. Right, so when you ask people stuff, how are you going to write that down? How are you going to record it in a way where you can, you know, think about it a little bit after? So I'm going to give you like 5-10 minutes. If you get stuck or if you have questions or you're trying to think about stuff, let me know and I'll come help you out. But go ahead, get back with your group, finalize everything, and then we'll talk about some ground rules. Hey. I'm hoping that maybe they're just late, so let's wait just a minute or two. If they, worst case, if they don't come, I can have you set up with another. You know, rather than you do it alone. Hopefully they'll be.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what happens.
They're there.
Oh, good. Okay, you're good.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Father, someone had told me, you know, I think they. I remember. Yeah. They start telling me about like, you know, wait, yes, the other things that looked at when they were like,
So just a few more. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the sexual activity for, and then the second question would be if the answer yes. The partner was like. But if they say no.
Yeah. You currently.
I can feel the leg off.
Yeah. And then from that question, if they say no.
Well, we can probably skip over.
Whatever happens, happens. Like,
But if they say yes. Yeah, that leads to
so like.
Do you currently have a little? All right, let's bring it back to our big group for a minute. How are you all feeling about this? Feeling okay? Yeah, good. Okay. So I have some ground rules and some things I want to discuss before we do this. Okay. And if some of you were bringing it up, which I love that you were thinking about it before I even said it. So that's fantastic. So the first thing I want to talk about, we have, it looks like we have 7 groups. And so what I'd like to do is kind of split us up into places we're going. So not all of you are going to the same spot and like surrounding one little group of people and bombarding them. So I have a few different places on here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's worked out well. So who wants to go to the performing arts building area? Like, I'm gonna give you like a home area and then you can wander around there. That's right over here. Okay, so we have one group, you're going there. The cafeteria bookstore area. Okay, so that's yours. Down the hill, like toward the academic center. Who wants to get some exercise? So I'm like, not that one. Anybody? Somebody's gotta pick that one. Kind of going down toward the academic center. Oh, great, thank you, thank you. Fountain Hall. Fountain Hall's the building right here. Perfect. The library. Wonderful. This building in the area around it. And then we have Raider Walk, but this building or Raider Walk? Raider Walk. Does anyone not have an area?
We don't.
So you get this building.
Okay.
Congratulations. So I'm giving you a home area. You're welcome to kind of wander outside of that, but like have that be kind of like the area that you predominantly go to. So like if you go out, for example, and no one's in this building, you can kind of go around Raider Walk and so on. And like if you're down the hill, like that's kind of your focus. But if you're not finding people, feel free to migrate like a little bit farther away. But some ground rules, all right? You're not going into classrooms, obviously. I hope I don't have to like clarify that. But one semester I saw a group go into a class and then I got in trouble. So please don't go into a class. As interesting as that would be, it's off limits, right? The other thing that I would like to say is when you walk up to a person or a group or whoever you're walking up to, please give them a little bit of information before you just jump in. So rather than walking up and being like, hey, how often do you masturbate? That's awkward, right? I'm in a human sexuality class. We're in a human sexuality class. We're doing a little like research, like survey or whatever you want to call it. Would you be willing to answer a few questions? Please ask them, right? Would you be willing to answer a couple of questions about whatever or about human sexuality? If they say no, say totally understand or okay, thank you, and move on. Okay, don't pressure them. If they say no, write that down. That's interesting information. Did they say no? That how many people didn't want to do it? Like that's interesting to record too. There's no pressure on how many people you get. Hopefully you get several people. There's more people out at this time than like any other time. So that's good for us. But if they say no, don't worry about it and just move on. A couple other things, make sure you're recording your data, right? So that you have a way to kind of think about it afterward. And if you're sitting back and observing, like, what are some of the things that are happening? That's sometimes more interesting than the data itself. So when you come back, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you go out for about like 25, 30 minutes. I'm going to give you lots of time for this. So hopefully you're able to get some people. And again, if you're not seeing anyone in your area, feel free to wander out from there. That's totally fine. So let's try to be back here at like 10:40. Okay, like in that vicinity as a group. I'm going to stay here and like, I'm going to leave the door open and stay here. So you're welcome to leave your stuff, or you can take it with you if that's more comfortable. When you come back as a group, I want you on that same sheet with your names on it to kind of jot down some of your like findings and reactions so we can talk about them together. But let's plan on about 10:40. Are there any other questions? Anything else that you're unclear about? Again, no classrooms. If they say no, move on. Give them a little like I'm in a class so they don't think you're just being creepy, right? Anything else? You excited? I'm excited to watch and like hear what comes back from this.
The data isn't free.
The data intrigues you? Perfect. I'd love that. Okay, so again, I'm gonna stay here so you can take whatever you want and leave whatever you want. Good luck, my little sexologists. I will see you at 10:40, okay? 10:40.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So do 3 hours for the yeah. And then I like for calling. And then do weekly. And how, okay, so how often would you masturbate? How often will you So you could do the weekly one, and you could do the month on average, and then it goes.
Yeah.
Because if they see their, they're using, they see their version, then that's a question, right, like that.
And then we'll, for the, like, the virtual one, we'll just skip.
Yeah, because the regular version, they don't have an artist, and so, yeah.
You're completely right.
But if they have partners, well, they're always, they do that.
You ready? Go get out there.
Seeing.
You're fine, you're fine. I'm half joking. Oh, I like
So
that.
we could take the data better,
I love it.
Yeah.
and then,
I mean, it might be a bit hard to like type since we don't have.
well, it's just gonna be numbers, so it's.
Yeah.
I also have notes just in case we have anything we really want to quickly jot down at the beginning, so.
Yeah. That was good. Oh, my ankle. Who's gonna be after? Should we record if they're?
Oh,
Oh, like add the graphic?
Should we include age?
I was thinking age too,
Okay.
but I mean, if it's not that important.
I.
So, what about like the sex?